Am I the asshole for hooking up with my best friend's ex and now we're in love? Disclaimers is not my story time. Send me on Instagram. My bestie and I have known each other for over 10 years. Our lives have always been intertwined because we have the exact same careers and actually work at the same job. So her and I spend a lot of time together. My bestie and her ex broke up in 2020. The reason they broke up was because my best friend met another guy. When she broke up with her boyfriend, she didn't tell him that she met someone else. She told him that she fell out of love with him. He was so heartbroken that he actually decided to move away. After he started following me on Instagram and he would reply to my stories every now and then. But I would never engage because hello, she's my best friend's ex. But sometimes he would comment really nice things. So I started replying back. Now here's a little info on me. I'm a very, very shy girl. I've never had a serious relationship and I'm 23 years old. The only time I've ever dated is if guys come up to me and ask me out. Otherwise, I would never go on dates. T and I kept messaging. I started realizing we had a lot in common. A few weeks after that, he told me he was gonna come into town to visit. And he asked me if I wanted to meet up with him for dinner. Obviously said no at first, but then I realized, why not? I mean, nothing would happen, right? Wrong. First off, he offered to pick me up from my apartment. He opened the door for me to get in the car, and we went to a really fancy restaurant where he paid for everything. He made me laugh the entire night. I'm really attracted to guys that can make me laugh. Suddenly, underneath the table, I feel him grab my thigh. Part 2 is, am I the asshole for hooking up with my best friend's ex and falling in love with him? Disclaimer, this is not my story time. It was sent to me on Instagram. That's when I felt him put his hand on my thigh underneath the table. I was actually really shocked. And we turned to look at each other and we both burst out laughing. It wasn't awkward or uncomfortable at all. It's like we had already known each other for so long because we actually did. Mind you, we're at a restaurant and he sits closer to me and asked me if he could kiss me. I mean, how romantic. I said yes. And for about 5 minutes, we were full on making out in the middle of the restaurant. It was like fireworks were going off. I had never in my life felt this way about any man. Like I said in part 1, I'm super shy. I'm so shy. No, I really am. But I guess because I knew him from dating my best friend, I felt very comfortable. After that, he took me home and nothing happened. He was only planning to stay in town for a week, but he decided to extend his stay so that he could take me out on a few more dates. We went rock climbing, had a beautiful picnic. He even taught me how to surf. For a full week, we hung out every single day. My best friend started suspecting something. Started asking me who I was hanging out with so much, and I told her I didn't want to tell her yet. She knows that I'm seeing somebody. After our 7th date, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I said no. Told him it was just wrong for us to do this since he was my best friend's ex. And he told me that neither of us owed her any loyalty, and that he found out that she actually cheated on him and left him for another guy. I just couldn't say yes. She's my best friend. Part 3 is up. Am I the asshole for hooking up with my best friend's ex and falling in love with him? Disclaimers in my story time. Send me on Instagram. Just couldn't go through with it even though she cheated on him. That's when he told me that he would date me to marry and not just to hook up. And then the words came out of his mouth. He said, I love you. Then I just blurted it out too. I mean, I was in love with him. We'd only been hanging out for 2 weeks, but it was so magical. Then we did it right then and there at the beach. And I had sand everywhere, if you know what I mean. After that, we went back to my apartment and he had another confession. He told me that when he was dating my best friend, he always thought I was very pretty. And that he always regretted having met her first instead of me, and how I was the complete opposite to my best friend. Then he told me about all the times that she would flirt with other guys in front of him, and that she would openly DM athletes and celebrities in hopes that they would text her back, and that she would turn around and be super jealous and controlling of him. And I have to admit, I know that my best friend is like this. It's been 6 months now, but we still have a long distance relationship. Actually brought up me moving to LA to be with him. That would mean I would have to leave my dream job. Told me that he would help support me until I got my own job. I'm supposed to go visit him in a week, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna propose. I haven't told my best friend that I've been dating her ex now for 6 months. That we're totally in love, that the relationship is amazing, that he wants me to move in with him, and that he really wants to marry me. Knowing her, she'll probably throw hands, and I don't really want to lose her friendship. This whole time, I managed to convince her that I was single and that I was just dating guys. She recently broke up with her dude and asked me if she should text her ex, aka my boyfriend. I said no. What should I do? Finally cheat on my husband and I don't care. Am I the asshole? The only way I'll stay married is if I cheat. Whenever I meet an attractive guy, I go out of my way to seduce them and my husband doesn't stop me. This has been happening for years. I love my husband, but I can't seem to keep my hands to myself. Sometimes I don't even come home and I have no shame. I've even cheated in front of my husband's friends and they hate me for it. They've told my husband that he needs to control me more. Honestly, I think my husband is kind of into it. In fact, he's taken an interest in talking to all of my lovers. One night, my husband caught me making out with one of my boy toys at a friend's party. A few hours later, he was found floating in the pool. And everyone thinks that my husband did it. He does look really guilty, but I don't want to believe it was my husband. After that, I reconnected with an old flame and started another affair. But he's also missing now. I keep calling him, but I get no answer. Come to find out, my husband actually spoke to him before he went missing. What should I do? Guess what? I'm actually telling you the story of a new movie. Find out what happens next and stream Deepwater on Hulu, and guess who is in it? If you're a fan of Jacob, you gotta run to Hulu now. Bye!